like California love and a little New York hate. It's all of the above. I'm not playing, I'm saying I'm off the...
Hey everybody, what's happening? This is my Bleach review, 427, just came out yesterday. I apologize for the late review, I'm busy these days. Well, let's jump right into it. Chapter starts out pretty normally, but before I continue to explain this normal chapter, I have to say that I think I love how Bleach is running so classic these days. I think I'll stop raging on it because something beautiful came out of it and I don't know how to explain it. I don't know if it's Ichigo'S development or how the story progresses in a new way after this time skip, but I really am happy to see this. I don't know why Tite Kubo just, put this cool atmosphere in the chapter or in these following chapters, but I have to say I like his pace right about now. It really makes me happy inside. Uryu is walking home and Orihime rushes behind him, and she was concerned about Ichigo'S so-called kidnapping. Now, we know where Orihime is always getting worried over Ichigo'S safety, but Uryu says relax. His boss came for him and took him away by force. So Orihime said it wasn't any weird person, and Uryu says, yeah, weird person's hanging around him a lot, so yeah, you're gonna expect these things to happen. She backfires his words and say, yeah, we're really weird people. You owned yourself, Uryu. That was the first funny thing. If you notice in the recent chapters I've been going by, Orihime doesn't have her hairpins on her hair. That's very unusual for me because she usually has them on. I remember when the Hogyoku gave everybody powers, and with the Hogyoku's will around the people, the powers came out of them because they wanted to become stronger. That's what Aizen had explained when he fused the Hogyoku. Orihime wanted to be useful, so she wanted powers, and she got her powers, which were the Shun Rika. Her hairpins were executed in the form of fairies that helped her. Now, I noticed that she doesn't have those hairpins on, and that's very strange. I don't know if the Hogyoku's demotion has anything to do with this, which would lead me to when we see Chad, I wonder if he still has his powers intact. Uryu is the only one exterminating hollows under Urahara. I don't see Orihime or Chad going on this entourage thing, so I'm a bit concerned as to what happened to them over the 1-year time skip. Now we move on to the famous shop of Unagi, where Ichigo is chilling out. And before we get to this scene, we see the cover page where Orihime is licking ice cream and some is on her cheek, and she says, it's tough, but I can't quit. So I realize that her job is working in an ice cream store. Typical because she's an evil, weird cook. She can't cook food. Now this dude, who is seen nameless, he appears in the shop and he begins to eat the ramen. Okay, let us eat. Ichigo's getting annoyed because he doesn't know why this dude is eating ramen in the shop where he's working. His boss is getting irritated because she found out that Ichigo uses it as a break room. Now this dude is messing around completely. He is saying that he just randomly walks into the shop and he's putting out a request. But Unagi, the boss, wants to know what does he really want. He asks for some water and she gives it to him, and he's just chilling out there, and Ichigo is saying, so what? Was it some coincidence that you walked in here? And he said, yeah, I saw this shop that pulled out unusual requests, so when I walked in here I just saw you, no big deal. So Ichigo said, so was it a coincidence that you walked with ramen? And he said, yeah, I love ramen. So Ichigo said, well, if it were by coincidence, then I love chocolate, I'd be walking around with it. And the dude says, wow, you love chocolate? That's cute. Ichigo gets more irritated and said, don't change the subject. The conversation is going to and fro between these two people here. And you can tell that Ichigo is frantically irritated to the point where he can't take anymore. Scene changes to the Urahara shop. Ururu and Jinta have changed completely. Jinta is more of a legit badass, and Ururu is more frantic and open and pleasant and beautiful. And these two boys are using the Jinta home run. And Jinta just owns them and says, nobody uses that technique but me. But Tessai comes out of nowhere and owns them. I love the dreads that he's got, that's cool. Ururu gives them a pleasant smile and the boys just laugh. So we see where these two have grown up. They seem to be being schooled. Now, scene changes again. This dude takes out a picture of Ichigo's father, and he says, I need to look for this guy. Ichigo quickly identifies his father, and he says, you effing with me? And the guy says, what, you know this man? He's your old man? I didn't know, man, that was a coincidence. Ichigo gets upset right about now and says, what's the big deal, huh? I know my old man better than anybody. So if you want me to tell you anything, I'll tell you whatever. And this dude says, boy, you don't know the half of your father. You don't know anything about him. You only know the surface. You don't know what's beneath. How is it that this guy knows more about Ichigo's father? Proof that he must be from the Soul Society. Proof that he is linked with this lost Shinigami representative badge arc. Proof that he has spiritual pressure because Orihime and Uryu could sense it in the beginning of this chapter here. This guy is definitely from the Soul Society and he's got some spirit pressure. I don't know if it was Ichigo getting back his powers. So many things came out of this chapter that it definitely had me interested. But this dude must be the main cause of the spirit pressure. We see the scene changes and this one really got my interest. Karin is at the Urahara shop, and when she stops there, she speaks with everybody. And when Urahara comes out, he says, well, this is a surprise, Karin, or Kurosaki, he says. I want to know what she's doing there. After the time skip, we saw Karin change. We saw Yuzu, Karin, and Ichigo's dad in the house. Her spiritual pressures had skyrocketed when Ichigo's had disappeared. Could it be that she's going there for, I don't know, the responsibility of eradicating spirits, or getting stronger in a sense? Is she going to seek training from Urahara? That's my prediction because I'd love to see her kicking butt. But I'm really surprised to know what she's doing there. Now, this chapter pretty much ended in an interesting way for me because this dude knows more about Ichigo's dad, and Karin is here at the Urahara shop seeking whatever. So I want to see what the next chapter has. The development is definitely going good. This arc is definitely about Isshin Kurosaki. So I want to see this go on further. Lovely chapter. This is BLUEGOD, and